Now, as we stand today, to me, it seems like we are much closer to a recession in US than before, right? So I will talk about two, three big reasons why we think that we are closer to a recession in US. One of the reasons that you see on the screen, this is something called as yield curve inversion. That your 3 month, the interest rate that we are running on the 3 month treasury bill is basically higher than the interest that we are running on the 10-year treasury bill, which means there is more risk than in the 3 month or the 2 year treasury bill as against the 10-year treasury bill, which is not the usual case of things, right? So this typically leads, and the way the markets conclude this is that there is much more risk in the shorter time frame. So we are looking at a 3 month to 2 year or a 3 year time frame where we believe that there is much higher risk in this time frame as against the 10-year time frame. There's one more bubble that's I would like to call it a bubble, and I'll explain why. There's this huge AI bubble happening in the US right now, where a handful of companies are driving the entire S&P, right, to its all-time highs. And the reason, and there's a lot of looping here, so to say, and I'll explain. So, first of all, to tell you that these magnificent seven stocks, which are your well-known AI stocks like Nvidia, Microsoft, Alphabet, Amazon, Apple, Tesla, whatever. Today, just these 7, 8 companies contribute almost 36% of the S&P 500. In fact, Nvidia alone is about a $4 trillion in market capitalization, right? Which is just huge, huge. And the S&P overall price to earnings ratio is anywhere between 28 to 30 times. It sort of goes up and down in that zone, whereas the long-term average is about 2021, right? So we are significantly higher than the long-term average in terms of the price to earnings ratio. And especially on the AI side, why I believe that there is some sort of looping here, which means it's like a stack of cards wherein a handful of companies they do a lot of business between each other. So just to give you an example, Nvidia has invested significant amount of money in OpenAI, and OpenAI uses that capital to buy chips from Nvidia, right? So there is money coming from Nvidia to OpenAI, which again goes back into Nvidia because OpenAI has to buy a lot of chips from Nvidia.